Yeah, the outline I'll try to follow would be, first I'll give you a brief history of Uganda from forest ranger training to PhD training. And the second most important is experience on the contribution of Uganda College of Forestry and Natural Resources to climate change adaptation and mitigation at local level, at national level, and global level. Uganda College of Forestry was established in 1978. Before that, forestry education was started at Ambo School of Agriculture and Forestry in 1957. Am I heard? Am I heard? And then it discontinued early 60s. Knowing that the need for forestry development and due to huge destruction of forests, Uganda was established in 1978. With hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. It was established by authority named Forest Wildlife Conservation and Development Authority, and 1978. It was funded by that authority for about 10 years, then shifted to Higher Commission of Ministry of Education. To put the contribution of Ugandans in different periods, I would consider the first period as from 1978 to 1996. When it started, curriculum was based on East African experience, particularly by adopting curriculum of Uganda and Tanzania. During that period, for the first 12 years, expatriates were fully involved to take teaching activity for diploma graduates. Local staff were not really there, but in 1992 and 91, local staff replaced them. Then in 1993, Uganda joined Higher Education Ministry of Agriculture. The other important period in the history of Uganda is from 1996 to 2009, where 2 BSc programs were initiated and 4 MSc program was introduced. During this period, again, the training of staff or faculty was very much high. About 32 faculty trained at MSc level, 25 faculties trained at PhD level. From 2009 to present, the college reached I would say the highest level of development in its history. Currently, we have 12 departments dealing with natural resources as a whole, 12 BSc programs, 12 MSc programs, 2 PhD programs. To mention some of the programs, we have BSc in General Forestry, Agroforestry, Forest Management and Utilization, Urban Forestry and Greening, Natural Resource Management, Natural Resource Economics and Policy, Geographic Information Science, Soil Resources and Watershed Management, Environmental Science, Land Administration and Surveying, Wildlife and Protected Area, Ecotourism and Culture. This indicates that as climate change issue or understanding requires interdisciplinary aspects, I think those departments can contribute a lot with that interdisciplinary approach to climate change. We have also some 12 programs at MSc level. We have climate smart agricultural landscape assessment, focusing on MRNV aspect of climate change, agroforestry and soil management, natural resource economics and policy, climate change in development, forest resource assessment and monitoring, urban forestry and greening, production forestry, watershed management, renewable energy utilization and management, wildlife ecology and conservation, biodiversity conservation and management, and finally, geographic information science. We have PhD in climate change and bioenergy development, and another PhD in agroforestry. In terms of research, I think during the first phase, up to 1996, the focus was on plantation establishment. The research focused on plantation establishment, like species trial, initial spacing trial. Basically, it is too focused on forestry and vegetation management trial, mixed stand development related, forest plantation, intercropping with agricultural cropping, and multi-purpose tree screening. From 96 to 2004, the focus is more on disciplinary researches, mainly by PhD faculties and MSc faculties. Then from 2004 to 2010, the college focused on more interdisciplinary type of research. We had a project called Development-Oriented Interdisciplinary Thematic Action Research, focusing on 3 pilot areas where about 50 scientists from social, health, agriculture, natural resource were involved in 20 projects. And these projects, of course, we have international partners like C4, who are actively involved, SLU and ACRAF. From this project, I think about 400 households was engaged, and there are the productivity of their farm and livelihood is also improved to some extent. Then from 2010 to present, we shifted toward more of disciplinary and thematic, interdisciplinary thematic research initiated by the university. During this period, the college involved in climate change related research projects than before. In terms of community science, I think I'm mentioning this because those are the most tripartite type of activity that the college has been doing. From 1978 to 1992, the college used to provide, particularly during the first 10 years, to provide about 200,000 seedlings for local community per annum. The fund was coming from the FAUDA, the authority I mentioned. And in order to also help local community, the college established 10-hectare community woodlots at Goto Unama, the closest, very important peasant association. To manage those forests, The college developed demonstration field, a half-hectare demonstration field to show copse management of eucalyptus around that area. And also the college used to prepare field days for local farmers every 2 years during that period. Then from 1992 to 2004, free seedling provision was disrupted because of lack of fund. And during this period, the college established outreach station for woodland management around the Rift Valley. In terms of community service, again, from 2000 to present, more of research and facilitating condition is most important according to your university policy. So the focus is on that. In terms of infrastructure, the college has got about 150 hectares of plantation, which is most of the plantation used to be established by students, forest rangers. We have natural forest about 100 hectares. Totally 1,000 hectares is known to be a resource of Wandugana. We have forest nursery, about 1 hectare. We have arboretum, 5 hectares, 1 general and 3 specialized laboratories. And due to the location advantage, I think Wandugana's training was done in very practical way in the surrounding area. Coming to the major topic, Wandugana's experience on the contribution of climate adaptation and mitigation. Wandugana's college has been offering climate change related courses, particularly by mainstreaming in some courses in forestry since its establishment. Currently, Wandugana has established full-fledged programs. We have 4 MSC programs related to climate change, 1 PhD program dealing with the climate change. The experience of Wandugana to contribute to national capacity building is one aspect I would like to share with you. And crucial role Wandugana played in professional development. With the education part, when you come to MSC programs, what are the programs we have at Wandugana? One is climate change in development, which is the oldest MSC program. I think it started about 9 years back. Climate smart agricultural landscape assessment, forest resource assessment and monitoring, renewable energy utilization and management, which is basically project-based programs by MRNV. And these 3 programs has graduated about 168 graduates who are working at different national, state or regions. The PhD we have is dealing with climate change and the bioenergy development. In terms of capacity building at national level, some of the important training that Wandugana has been doing is the following. About 187 regional experts were trained as training for trainer for RED+. About 46 journalists and public relation experts were trained for on RED activity and concept of climate change. 56 regional foresters were trained for forest governance, and 92 community leaders who were trained on public speaking, negotiation skill, and conflict management. This is through RED project. Another important project we have is MRNV. About 228 staff from different regions were trained on issues related to MRNV. And also the college by its own has trained about 90 experts on GIS and remote sensing during that period. In terms of capacity building, Ugandans is currently have about 8 staff members who are doing their PhD. 5 of them will come at the end of this year. And this is one important capacity for Ugandans that we should consider. In terms of research, we have 2 important, very big projects dealing with climate change adaptation and mitigation. And we have different research related to climate change by PhD and MSc student, and 1 thematic project of climate change funded by the university there. Experience in community engagement. Local community, always there is a fund from the university to deal with local community. The staff of Uganda are also doing research and some community facilitation in rural and urban area close to us. The other one is virtual community, which is very important, where some of the publications, where we can reach through our publications and reports at different levels. At national level, Uganda has been highly involved, particularly in national forest inventory, by creating platform for trainings for field crew. 2 faculty members were highly involved in technical advice as a technical advisor, and support the team by providing some equipment. In terms of contribution of Uganda at national and regional level, as technical working group at national level, Oromia Southern Region, National Red Plus Learning Network, and Red Screening Committee. In terms of capacity building, I think there are 2 projects currently fully involved to build capacity of Uganda in terms of research and for teaching. One is Konika, where we got different equipment, like for measuring carbon dioxide, soil temperature, soil moisture. And this is a workshop, training workshop on those equipments to Uganda. The other one is MRNV. MRNV is building the capacity of Uganda in terms of doing research in climate change. It has also contributed already spatial data infrastructure of the college, purchasing of field equipment, also some of laboratory facilities like gas chromatography and energy lab, renewable energy lab aspects. Computer center is strengthened by this project. We have also collaboration with others, with different universities dealing with climate change, like Helsinki, Dresden, Czech University, Colorado, Korea University in Norway, Norwegian University of Life Science, Swedish University of Life Science, and Institute of and the geoscience. Those are some of the our partners. Just to put some, maybe for some of us it could be controversial, but I feel that when Dugandet has produced capable graduate in natural resource management and climate change teaching and research. Also, the impact could be seen, the impact of Uganda training could be seen from earning of graduates. So far, Uganda has graduated about 7,345 graduates. So the impact could be seen from this point of view. I didn't make any research with this regard, but one can easily see how the experience of Uganda can help in interdisciplinary as well as climate change related. Some of them have become very productive and in biodiversity conservation. They are fully involved. The simplest thing one can see when you come to Wondogandat is the influence of Wondogandat is transferring technology. Eucalyptus grandis was established in different farms about in 11 PS, and the pressure used to be on Wondogandat for fuel wood collection is, I would say, 90% reduced due to the availability of the plantation on their farm. Of course, Wondogandat graduates are fully they are responsible for leadership. If you consider the commission, almost 95% are graduates of Wondogandat. So the impact of Wondogandat could be seen from this. With this, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Jabane, for your presentation. So now, what I would like to do is that I would like to ask one question by myself before open the floor to the people in this room. Hearing your presentation, then it seems like Wondogandat College really is becoming a key not only educational but also research institution in Ethiopia. And then I also found that considering the importance of Ethiopia in Africa in general, more broadly in developing world, then the Wondogandat College seems to have a big potential to play a bigger role beyond maybe Ethiopia. So as I understand that your college has a vision to become a center of excellence in the context. So can you elaborate? I don't expect that you can give me a full answer today, but at least can you give us some sort of the your thoughts on how Wondogandat College, based on this great achievement that you have built so far, how can Wondogandat College become a center of excellence in the very near future in the context of current quicker project implementation and beyond means that there is a possibility that Wondogandat College can be involved in another bigger quicker supported project implemented by the GGGI, but there seems to be a possibility that your college can be further involved in the context of research and training, and if there is anything else that you can add them. I don't know whether you have a full picture on this issue now, but at least if you could share some of the thoughts or ideas on this, then it will be great for everybody in this room, I think. So that's my question.
Yeah, may I ask Dr. Motuma to comment on this? Then, yeah, because he was highly involved in such issue.
Right. I don't know whether Dean Mutuma is here. He has a lot of issues to deal with now. So Dr. Mutuma, are you here in this room now? I don't think he is available. And then
Yeah, if you,
your
okay, in that case, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Uganda has a plan to be center of excellence, and I know Dr. Motuma and other colleagues are working on this, and we have been further collecting our achievements, and we are going to write a book with our Korean colleagues to put this background and then to develop something that can help Uganda to be a center of excellence. So we have a plan for that. Definitely considering those resources we have at hand and the partners we have, I think it is a great opportunity for Uganda to be that. The vision is there, but Dr. Motuma knows more than me with these issues. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm also a professor in a university in South Korea, and then looking at the role of universities in other countries as well. There is some, I think, a challenging issue that every university, almost in every country, needs to think about and address. That's what is the role of a university to the society, right? The way in which a university has been managed and established was to, of course, train the future leaders. Okay, that's what you demonstrated. And then they can go to the society and then they can make contributions to that. And then their contributions will be based on the knowledge and experiences when they were students. And of course, they can get the further experiences from their actual and real activities in the society, in their working places. However, another role that the university, that's my personal thought, there is no single answer on this. Another role that the university might be able to do is that some of the long-term vision, also some of the putting the new ideas, and then addressing the new challenge like COVID-19. And then, of course, there will be some necessary intellectual guidelines needs to be prepared for the society. Of course, it is related to the university's research, but at the same time, university needs to become a more like think tank for the governments. And then usually, when we think about the universities, we think that, just research focusing on the publishing the articles, also, train the students. Here, in order to do that, there seems to be more. Number one, that's some sort of the passion of the, many universities outside. That's launching executive education program in the context of continuous education. So I understand that many of the Wondogane College students are actually government officers. So once they finish their study, then they will return to their own places of work. And then this way, you already doing that role, but at the same time, there might be some needs from the society about the short-term training as well. Maybe about a week or 2 weeks, very intensive, but they can take the course and then courses, and then they can be updated. on the current and the future knowledges, right? That's what something that they may not be able to get. So this is another potentially very important role of the university, as I identified. And then another important role of the university is related research. And of course, publishing the articles and publishing the monographs is very, very important, and no question about it. But at the same time, university researchers, including faculty members and some students, need to be able to participate in ongoing implementation of activities by the government and private sector. Okay, in addition to provide sort of indirect support to the government, for instance, and then some faculty members can be a part of the government activities. I don't know whether that is practically possible in Ethiopia, but if you think that your college needs to do it, there is a way of doing that. That's a part of activities that I personally take. My university doesn't have the systemized system, but I have invented my own way of doing that. I, for instance, go to UNFC negotiations as a part of Korean delegation. And then I go to the negotiation session as a part of Korean government. And then sometimes I work with international organizations just beyond the level of the research. Maybe I could do something more, okay? And then I thought that this way of doing research, if this thing could be more systemized at the institutional level, I think it'll be great. This is not generally things that are done by the leading universities in the Western society, like Europe or United States. They are struggling to some extent. But I think in order to bring the direct impact to the society, I see that there are some needs, actually many needs in the society on this role as well. So I just thought that in the context that what you mean by the becoming a center of excellence, in the future, maybe there might be some additional ideas. I'm just sharing my own personal experiences.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So, but yeah, that's what that bumped me up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then now we have some time for the Q&A. So let me just open the floor, for those who have questions to raise. So there is, if you see the below of your screen, then you can see the Q&A, or you can just just speak up. So can you turn on the microphone for all of us? Turn on the microphone. So can you
Professor,
turn on the mic? Yeah.
If I turn on everyone's microphone, it will make a noise. So
no, that's fine. That's fine. Please. All right. If you want to raise any questions, please, do that. So can you just somebody speak out if they have a question, or is there any step that we need to take?
If someone have a question, I think he or
in the future, this is a free talking, opportunity, right? So it's not a test examination. Nobody will judge how good or bad your views are, but that this is a good opportunity for us to exchange the views. So if you have what I do in Korea, in this classroom session, if nobody speaks, and then I start to designate the name of the students and then ask them to speak out. But I'm sure that you have some questions and or comments that you want to do. So is there anybody who would like to raise questions?
Okay, let me ask.
Okay,
I have
please
one question
introduce
here.
yourself. Please introduce yourself, and then you can speak.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Abraham. I'm academic staff of the college. So I have a question here. I'm not very clear about the scope of this project to advance or enrich the existing curriculum of Wondogonat College of Forestry. So may you brief about the scope, to what extent that the project will be improve or update the current curriculum related with forestry and the natural resource. We have, as Dr. Zebban has been mentioned, we have a number of masters and PhD programs. Actually, in fact, now we have one PhD program, climate change and bioenergy development, and about 4 or 5 forestry related master's programs. So to what extent that this project will involve to improve the curriculum and research on this aspect? Thank you very much.
Maybe that's the question to me, right? Not to Dr. Jebene, right? Dr. Jebene, would you want to answer that, or otherwise I will answer that?
Please do that.
Okay, all right, that's a good question. So immediate answer to that is that there is a project website available. That's a www.climateforest.org. And if you go there, there is information about how this project has formulated and then what has been implemented. Okay, and there is a website available for you. And then at the same time, you know, if I answer to your question right here, let me briefly explain about how the project has been implemented. In terms of the category of activities, we call it as technically outcomes. We have 5 outcomes. Okay. In order to meet the goal of your college to become, you know, a leading education and research organization institution in Ethiopia. Number 1, as you mentioned, that when we started to discuss on what to do with your college, we realized that your college already has a pretty good advanced curriculum available, right? That's somehow rare actually in many universities, right? In order to develop the you know, program of the cooperation, right? Funded by COICA. And then we decided, instead of developing new program, we decided that based on the discussions with your college, we call upgrading current curriculums. For instance, what we identified, some courses, we took a look at the curriculum synopsis, and then it looked okay. But when we had the discussions with your college, we were not sure whether or not that curriculum was actually taught to the students in a way that originally developed with other partner organizations of another country. Okay, so we want to make sure that current curriculums will have more depthness in terms of the implementation, in terms of you know, responding to current needs of your college. In the sense that we have been going through improving the current existing curriculum. Okay, and then for the last 2 years, we provided a new syllabus, and then we also sometimes by ourselves, sometimes you know, with the cooperation of your college. For instance, Professor Dongkyul Kim last year, we asked the you know, your college to use our materials in your classes. Not necessarily, you know, for full semester. You know, there could be some flexibility to do that, right? Depending on the instructor. So that's the number 1, okay? Improving the curriculum. We are not creating new program because we don't want to create the you know, duplication. Number 2, To do so, naturally, there might be a further need, additional needs of having the teaching materials. Okay, so teaching materials, we sometimes call it as publication. Once again, if all of you go to the project website, then we have uploaded already published the 6 teaching materials. Quality of this publication is world class. We are proud of it. Okay, we spend a lot of efforts actually to make sure that all these publications will meet the global standard. Okay, and then authors include ones in the GGGI and the UNDP, and then Korea University teams and some other experts. Okay, so that this material can be used as a material for teaching for the students in the class. If you come back to the government, you can get the file, give it to your colleagues, and then it's very good basis for government officials to study by themselves. It's available. It can be used for anyone else, right? If you go to local government, you can give it to them. If you know the NGO people, it'll be a good basis. But it can be mainly designed to be used for the students and faculty members on campus. Okay. So far, we have published 6 publications. This year, we will publish 3 more. So in total, our project cycle has 9 years, 3 years of the implementation. So total, we plan to publish 9 publications. It has ISBN numbers. It's a formal publication. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 is the lab facility. So as a previous speaker briefly introduced, based on the discussions with your college, we have a list of the equipments to provide to your college, right? And then those equipments once they would be provided to your college, and then we encourage your college to use them in the courses, okay? And then we didn't decide the list of the equipments. Actually, it was suggested by your college. So we thought that, okay, that's good, and that we can provide them, and that's what we are doing. And then in order to ensure that, okay, those equipments will be well used during the educational activities in your college, we also have another activity to support publication and the thesis writing, okay? So I'm sure that many of you, all of you have seen the advertisement of your college every year. And then we select the master's and PhD students who will write their dissertation in principle related to the project, theme, okay? Also, we support the faculty members who publish their journal articles. Of course, we would like to support everybody, but we also have a limited size of the project budget. So we try to support as much as possible. Okay, that's another important category. And next one is the short-term training. Okay, short-term training. This is a short-term training actually. Short-term training is provided, at least once in full scale, and if necessary, in a smaller scale, if necessary, depending on the situation. So in this training workshop, what we try to do, among the 8 modules, 3 modules are based on the, this year's publication topic. So that is this session, actually, what your college is working on, it will become a publication of this year, right? And then that's why even I was very curious to know how it has been developed. Another one is based on the presentation in the next module, okay? GGGI, if you remember, Innocent mentioned that, big project to be implemented by the GGGI, right? And then it is actually outcome of these project activities. As I started to be involved with implementation of this project, and then we teamed up with the partner organizations, and then we facilitated Here we means not only me, also your college as well, and some other partners. But we actually communicated and we facilitated discussions mainly by GGGI and KOICA. So that's why Innocent mentioned some people of this project. So our project I call is incubating project. And based on this, and then we helped Ethiopia to generate a very big project, okay, from supported by the KOICA. As I said, this is, I thought that, well, your college can become a think tank, okay? And then GGGI is a great organization, but your college can team up with them so that you can actually bring more, immediate, support, power support for the commission. As your colleague said, that I know that including commissioner, many of them used to be your Hawassa University, your college people. Okay, it's just great, right? And then so that we can make sure that things can be continuously addressed. So whenever I go to Ethiopia, I always try to have a meeting with the commissioner by myself, so that I can update him on what we are doing and how we can integrate all these activities together. And then here, one of the context of providing this training workshop is because, as I understand, that many of you are government officers, right? So that, this is in the context training, government officers to some extent as well, okay? That's the training workshop. Why training workshop has been, it's not just, we want to use them, but no, we have a very important purpose. Usually, last year and the year before, whenever we go for government officers, okay, and we usually have a full participation of the commissioners. Previous Commissioner Gomedo, and then currently Professor Fakuda, they always come to our workshop. Okay, and we have a similar size of the training, and then because it's in Addis Ababa, it's easier for us to be able to invite more high-level people. So we usually have a participation, full participation, Korean ambassador and head of the KOICA and the former minister or vice minister of Republic of Korea. Last year, even climate change ambassador of Korea came to our workshop. It was the first visit by the Korean climate change ambassador to Ethiopia throughout the history of the Republic of Korea. So we bring the pretty significant impact actually to the society. And earlier this year, for that, I had a privilege to have a meeting with your president, so that along with the minister of the Korea Forestry Service, Korea Forest Service minister came to Ethiopia first time throughout this history because of this project. So they had a pretty good discussions on the further cooperation between Korea and Ethiopia. No matter whether you may know this or not, recently Korea identified Ethiopia is the country among the developing countries that Korea would like to support. In the context of COVID-19, Ethiopia was designated as a partner country. Okay, and then as I understand, there are not the details yet, but I think this climate forestry related issues can be very good item if further efforts can be made, not by myself, but relevant government officers and others. But we have ability together with the Hawassa University can facilitate the discussions if necessary. Okay, so that's about short-term training for government officers. And then I think everybody in this room, also Dean and everybody, GGGI, UNDP, we are proud of what we have been doing, right? We ensure the best quality of the implementation. So we want to share this with others. So for every year, we organize a side event during the conference parties of the UNFCCC. Okay, so every year, last year in Madrid, and then year before in Poland, we organize a side event during the COP negotiations, and where usually your commissioners and high-level people, all the high-level participants come, and we share the outcome of project implementation. I still recall 2 years ago when we organized this side event, even Minister Zimbabwe came and then asked us to help their country in a similar way later on. Okay, so these are all 5 different outcomes of a project. And then overall, by doing this, we would like to help your college to become a leading research and educational institution. And then that's what we discuss about becoming a center of excellence. And then we would like to provide the policy recommendations to Ethiopian government. That's what GGGI mentioned about the big project to be implemented from next year. So, you know, we build a pretty good reputation even inside the Koika. Because based on the amount of the budget they provided us, and then our team, this is not only me, without having the great partners of your university. Your university is a key organization, not Korea University. We are just supporting the activities of your universities. And then this is the last year. So initially, this summer workshop was planned to be organized solely by your college, because once we finish the in activities this year, then it should be continuously implemented by your college, right? So we wanted to make sure that your college would go more initiative, but because of coronavirus matters, right? We had to organize things online format. So, you know, Korea University put a little bit more efforts to organize this than before because of the technical issues. But this is a general, you know, scheme of the project implementation. And then that's what we are trying to achieve by end of this year. So I hope that my answer was a help for you to better understand the current project. If you have any.
Thank you very much, Professor Su, for your best brief explanation about the scope of the project. It's very important that the project is supporting on curriculum development, preparing teaching materials, and propose to provide some important lab equipment, and being provided short-term trainings and further project development. So that's very interesting. Maybe one of Korea is one of the best exemplary country in the quality of education. So a staff exchange program shall be included in this project so that we can see the way the system has been established in Korea compared to Ethiopia, so you can learn from your experiences. So in-person involvement of such kind of training in your country is very important. Let's hope that this pandemic will be end soon, actually, in fact. Otherwise, this kind of platform is continuing. So short-term training is one of the best way to build the staff capacity in research and education. So that, do you think that this kind of arrangement has been included in the project, or?
Well, that's the topic that we can have a full discussion in the last module, bilateral cooperation, right? Beyond the completing the current you know, project. So I will postpone much of the discussions to that module. But for now, short answer, that's possible as long as your college has a willingness and to do so. Okay, Koika might be interested in that. But unless what I give most value is whether or not there is a highest level of the political and institutional and personal interest of partner organizations. We have a great, you know, resources and experience and efforts to do so, but my partner who really has to enjoy the benefit, if they don't have any willingness to do so, you know, we don't have to come. Okay. So my short answer is yes, there is a possible idea, and I have students by myself personally from Botswana, Ethiopia, Sri Lanka, Mongolia, and Latin America, Europe, and United States. I have students, current students. Okay, so even the various ways is possible. Okay, but it's first the starting point whether or not partner organization has the willingness, and then it'll be easier for us to identify the possible, support, financial supporters like a Koika. Okay, that's my short answer. Okay, we will have a full discussions in the last module. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
And then suddenly it has become a session of me. So, but I want you to ask questions regarding the presentation if you have any. Dr. Denabo, you don't have any comments or questions? You need to turn on the microphone, please. Turn on microphone, please. Yeah.
Okay. Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. This is my first time to talk, and I hope we have been in touch with most of you, with most applicants. As a coordinator of this project for this year in Wandogana College of Forestry. We have had very nice discussion and presentations, and it was really fascinating to be part of this workshop. I wanted to ask Dr. Zabane one question, if it is about I don't know if he is around. Dr. Zabane? Okay, if he is not around, I will move to another question. A follow-up question on Abraham's last question, the one you said, if it is possible, depending on the political will of the partner organization, about the staff exchange. Hopefully, I think you are talking about the next project. Actually, this one is going to end this year, right?
Yes, current one ends this year, so we cannot add any expertise this year.
Yeah, this staff exchange issue will be part of the next project, and we will think of that one. Hopefully, we will include it. And I appreciate Abraham raised a nice question on this one, and so we will try to.
That needs to be separately developed. Dr. Denebo,
Yes.
if you want to do that, that will be the separate project that needs to be developed.
Okay, yeah, we will think on that one.
Right.
I want to clarify that it will not be part of this project.
No, no, not at all. Right, we can.
Yeah. I wanted to ask Dr. Zabane about the issue he presented, but he's not around. So saying this, I can give chance to other participants if they have any question. And maybe if I have to respond to Sisai, seeing a question here, he was asking about compiling the works that have been done. And I have seen the comment. We are working on that one, and it will be part of our book. We have a draft for that one, and we are working on that one with Dr. Zaban and Dr. Tasfai.
Yeah, in addition to that, as I said, all the previous presentation materials and published articles are available in the project website. Okay.
Yep.
So whenever you need any information out of our project, you can go to our project website. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think we reached the lunchtime now. So I would like to adjourn the morning sessions here, and please come back to this third session before 2. Right. Once again, I want you to come back again to this room before 2. So having said that, thank you very much and have a nice lunch. Thank you.